Hello, sixth graders, and today we are doing day 2 of our science and argument writing graphic organizer. So, yesterday you all picked a topic and then came up with a claim. Your claim is just basically your stance on your topic. So, when I did mine, my topic was later start times in school, and my claim is that schools across the country should have a later start time. Now, today our goal is to fill out the yellow boxes. So, I'm going to go through the steps as to how to do that. To begin, I'm going to be starting down here in the evidence. Now, if you remember from Monday's lesson, evidence is data. It's statistics to back up the claim. So, what I've done here is I'm still going to be using this article that I found on News ELA, and I'm going to start by trying to find some kind of statistics. And the first heading here is delay would benefit teens' health. So I read through this section. I'm not going to read through it all now for you, just for time's sake. So what I'm looking for is statistics to maybe back up why schools across the country should start later, and maybe my reasoning then could be how it benefits teens' health. Well, as I read this section, I did find that it says here that in recent years, scientists have identified early school start times as a health problem. Okay, well those are scientists, so that's some evidence. Let's see what they say about that. What the scientists found out is that sleep loss in teens has been linked to many problems. It has been tied to everything from poor health to bad academic performance to crime. So that right there is some evidence to support why schools across the country should have a later start time. Another thing that I found in this section here was that the American Academy of Pediatrics, or the AAP, it's a group run by doctors. And those doctors say that kids should get 8.5 to 9.5 hours of sleep per night. Now, this is like blowing my mind because I don't know if any of us are getting that much sleep at night. Maybe some of you are, which is awesome, but that's just a mind-blowing fact to me that that's what the doctors are recommending for kids. And I know that when we start school at 7:25, I mean, you'd have to go to bed pretty early to ensure that you're getting like 9.5 hours of sleep. And then it says that in most cases, this will mean a school start time of 8:30 or later. So now that I have that statistic, and then there's even one more down here that says 1 in 5 schools in the nation, school districts, start classes at 8:30 or later, according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. So all of those are like statistics to help me prove my claim. So these statistics, sixth graders, this is evidence. So this section here is not meant to be writing complete sentences. I'm just writing notes. So what I'm going to say is that I'm going to start with the scientists. This top one here is saying how scientists have identified early start times as a health problem to kids. Some problems include poor health, poor academic performance, and can lead to crime. So that's definitely some evidence to prove that, wow, schools across the country should start later. Another piece of evidence that I'm going to have here is I'm going to talk about what the AAP said, American Academy of Pediatrics, saying that students should get 8.5 to 9.5 hours of sleep. I'm also going to add this one here. Now, I don't have a ton of room here for all three, but I'm going to just copy and paste this text, copy and paste this text box here in hopes of adding in a third one. So I'm just going to put that off to the side for a moment. So I'm going to start here by saying the AAP says that kids need 8.5 to 9.5 hours of sleep per night. So that is definitely like a statistic that they're saying that is what the American Academy of Pediatrics is recommending. And then the last one I'm going to add down here, and I'll put this underneath this text box, is that only this last statistic here, that only 1 in 5 schools across the nation start classes at 8:30 a.m. or later, according to the CDC. The CDC, that's just short for the Center of Disease Control. Now, I don't know if I'm actually going to use this statistic right here, but this one, I'm just going to keep it there because it's in this section. But these top two that I put here for evidence that's saying how scientists have identified early start times as causing health problems, and saying how the American Academy of Pediatrics say how much sleep kids should get, those are both definitely health related. So now I need to come up with a reason. I need to make a connection between my claim, which is schools across the country should have a later start time, and these pieces of evidence. Well, the connection is that later start times would benefit students' health, because these pieces of evidence are talking about the health effects. So my connection here, or my reason, is that later start times could benefit students' health. So now when I write my paper or my paragraphs, I'm going to be talking about how schools across the country should have a later start time, and that later start times could benefit students' health because scientists have identified early start times as early start times causing health problems for kids, and that the recommended amount of sleep that kids should be getting, it's not happening now. So this is just my data. This is just information and notes. I'm still going to have to turn this into a paragraph and add transition words and make this flow, but this is me just gathering the data. So I made my reason, which is my connection that later start times could benefit students' health. This last statistic down here from the CDC doesn't fully go with my health benefits section here, but I'm going to keep it there and maybe use it somewhere else because this is just my note-taking sheet. So your job today, 6th graders, is to find some statistics. Whatever topic you picked, go to those articles, websites, whatever Mr. Morshauser gave you, and find some data. Find some statistics or some research to support your claim. Then come up with a reason. If you need help, please reach out and ask us. your goal today. Only get the yellow boxes done, and Mr. Morshauser and I will be checking your responses here or the notes that you're taking and let you know if you're on the right track or if you may need to rework a few things. Good luck, everyone.